Right, hello. Hopefully the connection works properly because it just popped up then and went live streaming isn't available. But it seems to be doing it now. So I'll be on for about an hour. So the title gives it away recently, due to just shitty things going on. I thought I'd buy a couple more cool things that haven't arrived yet, but I thought I'd buy them to do videos on when they arrive, and just because I get a lot of fun out of them when they come. So one is a working modern ionization chamber with a digital loadout or readout. The other one is a what's it called? Trying to think of the name of it. Scintillator counter, Soviet scintillator. It's actually a Dutch thing, but yeah, it's what tomorrow's video is on. As gimpy as this looks, it's a Dutch NBC facelit. So it's like the same sort of material as NBC suits. You wear it, like a simple head harness, and in theory, this would actually protect you and others from coronavirus. The only annoying thing is the buttons are quite low quality, so I've already had one that broke on there, that one. But Dutch, it looks like a duck, but it's made by the Dutch. It's a Dutch NBC facelit. So basically, the idea being that, you have something like that. It goes over your face like a half-face respirator. And, filters the air coming in and out. Yeah, it'd be interesting, French Gopnik, if you did, because then you could see if it actually got a reading or not. Well, I'd use several different ones, John. So I used that one. I used the GM. I didn't do it in the video when I filmed it, but I used the GMQ Plus, whatever it was called, and the one on my wall was the one that initially alerted me. So I had several Geigers go up. It wasn't just a therapy, but by the next day, it was almost back to normal. Oh yeah, I was saying the readings were going down over time, so it definitely came with the rain, and then some of it, I guess, washed away or decayed quite quickly, whatever was there. Because I had, a couple of things where water collected in the garden, as in like in little, trough type things, and those went down in activity pretty quickly. Didn't even know there were any protests in America. But hello to everybody that's on anyway. All right, cool, Mum Spaghetti. Yeah, if you can refund or fix them, do that. No, radon's an alpha emitter. So if it was radon, you wouldn't pick it up with a therapy, because the therapy is beta and gamma. Only my alpha mica probe for the rate meters and the mini monitor can pick up radon. That's broken now. Or the only other thing I've got that can pick up radon is the open air ion chambers. I don't know, Arnold. There might be. Sounds like something that should exist. PM me on Discord, Mum Spaghetti, but there's plenty of stuff you can buy on eBay that's radioactive. Like, old radium clocks and that. So that mode means it goes from 0.01 microsieverts an hour, which you'd never get as low as that. You're going to get like 0.10 as the lowest ever, I should think. 50 millisieverts, that's not bad. Which one are you looking at? Is that one of the GMC ones? Because my GMC or GMQ Geiger, whatever it's called, has a similar range to that. Apologies. The weird Dutch NBC facelit, it's tomorrow's video. It was the one that was meant to be today's video, and the Chernobyl video was meant to be yesterday, but then YouTube screwed up the thing. Yeah, Americinium 241 Stug. It's used in the ionization chamber because when smoke breaks the flow of alpha emitter, the helium atoms, it sets off the alarm. Yeah, I just coughed, Mum Spaghetti. Well, Autonomous, if you want one, you can buy one below and I get a bit of money from it. Right, young rail enthusiast? some of the mail came today. What I had arrived today is this thing. Now, I found a seller who had one of these in for like £10, not wanting 50 quid for it. So that was nice. So I'll put the light on. It's a very simple thing. So this is a Radiac #1 calculator, and the serial number is 66659991101117. So they obviously built shitloads of these. That's just a little pouch, and what you get inside is one of these. And basically, you can see there's a load of text on the back on how you use it, but it's where they're like little paper calculators for figuring out radiation levels after a nuclear bomb's gone off. Like, you know, where you'd line up readings to figure out, you know, what your dose would be if you were exposed for a certain amount of time. Thank you very much, Ivan. He said, did you ever see a Russian ROU filtering cloth mask for OZKF and such? I've got an ROU somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I've got videos on it if you look at my channel. But yeah, it's kind of like the modern PTM, isn't it? And thank you very much, Ivan. So yeah, what it is, and thank you, Tim. I'm a bit better today. As the title of the stream says, when I had some insomnia last night and couldn't sleep, I ended up just checking my bank balance was healthy enough to do it, and then comfort buying some milsurp I really wanted. But yeah, you know the old Soviet PTM masks, like these, Ivan? The ROU is basically a modern, better one of those, isn't it? And yeah, I've got an ROU somewhere, but I can't actually find it, which is annoying. But yeah, the ROU is quite a nice little facelet. The only annoying thing, apologies, I do keep coughing today. Yeah, the only annoying thing with it is that the plastic in mine was really, really low quality in terms of, like, you know, some of it had broken by the time it got to me. I could repair it, you know, with like plastic glue, but it was a bit irritating. Yeah, thanks, Tim. I'm all right. And big thank you to Ivan as well. But yeah. Yeah, my ROU came on its own, Stug, but I think that's just probably because sellers sell the bits individually for more money. Let me look that one up then, Mobe. Nuke Test NT601. I'll see what it looks like from the thing on it. But some Chinese Geigers are all right, in all honesty. So, large dot matrix LCD display, so that's nice. Backlit display, good. Assume it's just beta gamma, is it? Yeah. X-rays, gamma rays, and beta radiation. And yeah, the range is, like you said, basically bottom end of microsieverts, lower than it will ever register, and 50 millisieverts an hour. Cumulative dose goes up to 9,999 sieverts, so at a point when you'd be completely dead. How much is that? Because if you can get that for a decent price, that looks very good, actually. Compared to a lot of the Chinese ones, it does seem like a lot of the Chinese counters are slowly catching up, you know, with a lot of the Western ones. But if that wasn't too much, they're £50 on eBay. If I didn't buy a load of other things recently, I'd be tempted to get one. But I'd say yes, go for that. There's not really cheap and good Geiger counters, Uranus, unless you get lucky with surplus. The only one I can recommend that you sometimes can get really cheap, other than that nuke test one that guy was just asking about, is these cajo ones. Because these do both dose equivalent, and you can do it on counts per minute. These max out at not a very high reading. Sylvia says, can you ask what? But yes, you certainly can. Right, Peach. Hello, Gustav. Hello, Richard. Everybody's joining now. Yeah, if it's £50 Mobe, I would go for it. That does look very good for what it is. It seems to be like a Chinese kind of equivalent of that GMQ, you know, one I've got, but that was like £100. And those basic LCD displays, like old Nokia's, they're brilliant on little Geiger counters because they don't use much battery to keep the screen powered. All right, Daniel, I was up all night. I didn't manage to fall asleep till about 7 a.m. and that was when I wanted to get up. And then I got up about an hour or two ago. But that's just like the weird insomnia I'm getting at the moment, I think, due to no schedule. Yeah, as Pete shared, 154 watching. Well, I've already bought some stuff, Max, but what I did buy, for the people who want to know, is I bought a modern ionisation chamber. So you know what these are? Like the old CDV 715s. These aren't Geiger counters. 40mm filters are fine, assuming they're particulate filters. So it's basically, the batteries come loose in that again, I can tell. But basically, with a CDV 715, it's like one of these I bought, but a modern one, you know, with a digital loadout, and does a much wider range. Yeah, that'll be absolutely fine, Sylvia. Yeah, just give it a quick rub down with rubbing alcohol or surgical spirit and let it evaporate. The Fashida's made from really strong rubber, so it's not going to get damaged by that. That would work absolutely fine. But yeah, so I bought a modern ion chamber from the US, so that will take a while to come. But when I looked at lots of modern ion chambers, they were like £300 second hand to 1,500 new. And this one was like £150 to £200 with all the import and all that on it. So that wasn't too bad, and it looked like a really good model. Yeah, if you didn't hear Sylvia, I said rubbing alcohol, whatever, will be fine. Yeah, just rub it down inside and outside of rubbing alcohol. It will evaporate. That'll work fine because the four shaders are really good rubber. But yeah, so there's there's that. The other thing I ordered is a Soviet scintillator. I don't know if it's the one that maxes out at 3.6 Rontgen. Yeah, I said, Mobe, if you want to get it, go for it. I'm not going to buy it in the moment because I bought a couple of other things today, and I do have to be careful where I don't just keep, you know, constantly buying shit. Did you not hear, Sylvia? I answered you a couple of times now. Short sword in the background. You're probably seeing the saber, and that's not actually a short sword. It's just the angle it's laying at. Yeah, it's a saber if it was this one you're looking at. Yeah, at the moment, these are just sort of sat up on the bed frame. No, I didn't, Peach. It doesn't surprise me that there's dickheads price gouging like that. Wow, Tyler, in real money, I would say £50 to £100. The issue is a lot of people think they can get like a few £100 to £1,000 for it. You're deaf, Sylvia says, but yeah, there you go. If you saw the comment I posted about what I said several times, rubbing alcohol like you did would be absolutely fine. Ghost masks and filters and NATO masks and filters are different threads, so it completely depends on what the filter itself is. Is it Ghost or NATO? It's not a question of one or the other, really. A lot of the time, Max are never on at this time. And that's one of the nice things about doing a stream at this time. You get more nice comments. So, Max, if you missed it, I've got a scintillator coming in a modern ion chamber with a digital readout. Cheers, Steve. So that should be really interesting to do videos with. All right, Richard, that should be good. But yeah. Yeah, because at the moment, like, you know, at the moment, I've had some stuff going on as well as coronavirus, you know, with like family members and that who are ill and all that. And then it was just, you know what I mean? I had one of those days yesterday where some of it got to me, and I thought, fuck it, last night. If I've got some money to spare, you know, and we might be locked down for months yet, I might as well buy things I can actually enjoy while locked down. Thank you very much again, Ivan. He said, what do you think is a good price for a life extended PMK3 with new filter and NATO adapter? Right, I'm not a massive fan of the PMK3, but when I got my one over here, I think it was in the £30 to £50 region, which would probably be like $40 to $60, $70. I'm not sure that would be in rubles, but in theory, you know, I might go up to £100 for that, especially at the moment with, you know, the prices of masks. I just don't personally like the PMK series very much. I prefer the older, simpler Soviet masks. I know, isn't it, the modern PMKS is meant to be very good, though. This room isn't really organised, in all honesty. I mean, the Radiacs and MD2 meters, or MD3 meters are slightly organised on there because they're in a row, but for the most part, this is stuff waiting to be sorted to somewhere else. But if I move the webcam all that way, look, you can see that those crates are actually a lot better organised. But the stuff behind me is quite messy because it's just, you know, where it sits until I make space somewhere else and then it gets put in proper stacked, you know, ammo crates or on shelves somewhere. The original ones would Connor, as in the French M51. The modern ones, when you sometimes get them as surplus, they come with modern 40mm filters, so in that case, no. Now I've got my real interest in Russian packs. Well, Antonio, what I was just saying is stuff I've bought recently to feel better about coronavirus. eBay is, I would say, Storgero is the best place to look for masks. Also, Etsy I found now and again recently. I found some really good stuff on Etsy I couldn't find on eBay. Yeah, Fred's is very good, isn't it, Swaggerino? There you go. I've got this for if things get really bad to do with Fred's. But, you know, I just have to put a bloody bandage over my eyes with it. Well, what are you looking at? Those are MD3 meters. I can demonstrate one of those to you. Those are ionisation chambers. They're similar to the US CDV 720s and 715s, but what these do, they're used for detecting horrible levels of radiation. So I don't know if I've got a battery in this one. Good, I have. Okay. So how these work is basically they detect ionisation in the air, and basically they're for really, really high levels of radiation. It is turned on. Well, the reading, as you can see at the moment, is basically 0, as you would hope it is, because that's in centigrades. 1 centigrade is bigger than 1 Rontgen in terms of old units. So these are like really handy for high levels of radiation, not for radiation levels you ever encounter in normal things. Well, with these, they never actually show 0 because they're analog meters. So the needle is always slightly above 0 because the needles tend to fluctuate a bit like that. But because I might be able to get one to move actually for you. Just a second. I don't know if I've got a battery in that one there, but the one to the left, I've not got a bottom on it. I took the bottom off to expose the ionisation chamber. And no, that's not all that sexy. What I just mean is, this one I've taken all the bottom off so you can actually access the ionisation chamber. Because these are like even simpler than Geiger counters. They just measure, you know, like electric, basically energy in the air interfering with the reading. Right, I need to put a battery in this one, but 1 second. I've got some D cells handy because they're like the most used batteries for old Geigers. So I'll pop in a D cell. Then I'll see if a bit of radioactive rock can actually move the needle. I'm just going to be using a bit of Autunite I've got over there. No, Torba Knight, sorry. Yeah, Torba Knight, just because it's a lot safer to handle compared to some of the material. And the dangerous material I keep not in this room anyway. It's locked in the safe now. So yeah, if I turn this one on and then let it go down, because you have to wait for them to basically cool down when you first turn them on to sort of normalize a reading. There we go. So that's that one there. What I'll do in a minute. Thank you very much, Rory. Let me get a bit of stuff. When I say stuff, I mean, here we go, Torba Knight. I've never been a fan, SC, of Papas, but C420s are supposedly quite good for people who like Papas. But yeah, I've never been into them. But if you are somebody that finds them interesting, I think you'd like it. But you know, right? Let's see if I can get the needle to move using this. For those of you that don't know, this is Torba Knight. It's like a uranium-based crystal. Looks like Tiberium from Command and Conquer. So here we go. Right, let's see if this does anything. If it will focus on the thing. Will it focus? The problem is when this is also... moves the needle a little bit, doesn't it? There we go. It will reset again in a minute. Put that back there. Yeah, but that's just using that. Yeah, so these meters, as much as these are doomsday meters, for the people who bought the MD3s when I was talking about them on the chats, what I'd say is if you take the bottom off of these and access the ion chamber like that, you can actually get the needles to move on them, which is pretty cool, I think. But again, you know, that's only through that's the annoying thing of the US, like CDV 715 and 720, because they're not open air ion chambers, you can't actually simply do that with them. Right, I'll go back to the chat now, but hopefully that... Yeah, I've got some uranium glass max, but that's very, very low in activity levels. Uranium glass, like, the Geigers struggle to pick them up because they're so low in activity. I mean, they pick them up, but you know, they're not interesting on the Geiger. For people saying where do I get my masks, nearly always eBay, but bear in mind I got all these before this pandemic because I've been collecting them for years. I wouldn't pay £270 for one SC, but you know, it depends if you want a Papa unit or not. Personally, I don't see the point in them. For most people, anyway. I can see points for them in specialist criteria. Did you enjoy it, Storgrow? I don't know if I've seen the 0 Hour documentary, but I've watched quite a few things on Chernobyl. Wait, is 0 Hour the one where it's like an hour to disaster and they show you the control room? It's meant to be like minute by minute, and it's got like the Russian actors in it with a Dyatlov and what's it, Toptonov and all those, or Nakimov, or is it am I thinking of something else? That's interesting, Mobe. How far down the list? How far down the day thing are we in the UK at the moment? Because I don't even know anymore. I already answered you. The original ones do, yes, Connor. Modern ones, it's normally paired with now don't. Look at the size and shape of the filter. If it looks like a modern 40mm filter, it won't be the old asbestos ones. I've done a video on some of my favourite masks, Eli, but the problem is prices fluctuate all the time, so you can't even answer that in a single video. Canteens, what canteens are you looking at? I don't think there's any canteens in here. Are you looking at those? They're filters, they're not canteens, they're EO 14s. No, I've not Synth Maniac Moog, but that's kind of cool if somebody made one. Oh, it actually is today, isn't it, Noel? Didn't even notice. I've got 5 Diacs, Noel, and a Martini Henry, which is classed as an antique. I'd say an M61 is just about worth £50. They used to be like £20 to £30, but they are good masks. Oh, it is the 0 Hour one I'm thinking of, okay. Now I've got a Yugoslav M51, aka the M1, aka the mask that melts. Cheers, John. If you actually do really like them, you can get them in various colours and shirts and mugs and everything in the description. Well, not description, but the Teespring link below that. But yeah. The problem is, Isaac, again, prices fluctuate all the time. The only one I'll keep recommending to people, because it's still being made, is this one, which is just a Chinese generic panoramic mask, which you can get on AliExpress for like £20 to £30. Yeah, I couldn't sleep last night, Rantix. I only fell asleep at like 7 AM. So I was just sat in bed, you know, feeling worse and worse. The one I wear to the supermarket least is actually a half-face respirator, because I can then wear my glasses with it and then put goggles on top of the glasses if I want to. Cheers, Nite. Yeah, that is the Romanian filter, Swaggerino. You're completely correct there. But it's just a 40mm thread on this mask, so, you know, you can put any filter on you want. But I think that filter was just laying around when I wanted to show the mask one day, so I put that on. But yeah. I doubt a GM30 would still work properly, Toby, but I suppose you could if you really wanted to. I have no idea, Clorox, because I've never used those Israeli outserts, but the Israeli eyepieces are very similar in size to the Drago ones, so they might fit. They might also fit some other masks, like, you know, any of the American and Finnish type masks of triangular eyepieces. Yeah, Waylon, it depends also what you're using. Like the good one I reviewed recently, like that kind of grey plastic coloured one, that works really well. It's Teespring, Sebastian, so it does it in several countries. Basically, Teespring prints it and then just ships it to you. So it's not based in Britain, because when I bought merch, I think some of it might get printed in Britain, because when I bought one of the t-shirts, I got it within a week. But sometimes when you buy stuff from Teespring, you have to wait for it to come from China, because they, you know, like print it there and then send it. Well, Victor, I'd say the easiest thing to do is use a half-face respirator, because then you can wear glasses just like that with the, you know, half-face mask like that, and it's not a problem. Your other alternatives, if you've got an old pair of glasses, you could take the arms off the glasses and then just kind of cable tie them into the nose section of a mask like that. Wear contact lenses, it's kind of, there's not really an easy answer. Yeah, Zivil Schutz filters are just 40mm filters. They work on Israeli masks as well. Although I wouldn't recommend using an old Zivil Schutz filter due to what might be in the filter and the age of it, but that sounds good. I was playing about a bit. He was saying about airsoft conversion. Still, I was playing about a bit. What I'm going to do later on, I can't get it all over into the camera, but I can show you this. I need to do a document type video on this today, which is one of the really weird old portable Radiac units I've got, which isn't one of the common ones because it's not an Avo branded one. But what I'm going to do is, you can see I've shoved some tinfoil in there. I'm going to power it because it needs an obsolete battery. I'm just trying to force that bit down. I'm going to have to take that bit off and hit that bit with a hammer again to get this bit back in properly, because you can see that's sort of slightly warped and out of shape. But yeah, what I'm going to do is use my bench voltage transformer to actually work out what the power should be to this, and then do a video, hopefully, of it working. But yeah, this is like a weird old thing. Like if I do a battery test, look, the battery test works absolutely fine. But the problem is the electric high tension for the ionisation chamber. So if I turn it on at the moment, it will just go to 0 and the needle won't move. Because that's the, you know, press to do like a check where it overloads the circuit with voltage, and it won't do that because there's no high tension. So what I'm going to need to do is, dismantle this again earlier, whack that into position with a hammer, because it's warped and isn't, going in. I was hoping if I did some of the screws up last night, that would force it in, but it's not. And then, see if I can get tinfoil on the croc clips in the right position to power it using, thing. And I also want to do a video to document these because I couldn't find really any info about them online. I could find some info on the old AVO meters, but this isn't an AVO meter, as you can see, because it's a Type N106A. Although it's a Radiac survey meter, it's not the type you commonly see. But yeah, it's a weird old thing, but seems to still work. So I'm just going to try and power the voltage on it correctly, and then have a go at getting him going. But yeah. Right, have I missed any proper question comments while I was talking about the Radiac? Yeah, kind of does, Peach. It's that kind of cream old metal they used to use on the British things. But yeah, also there was something else I got working yesterday that I was quite happy about. Another obsolete thing using the bench transformer, although an old capacitor did blow in it, which was this thing. Canadian Radiac trainer. It uses some really weird obsolete batteries, so I couldn't power it normally, but I could power it with the bench transformer, and I got that working for a bit as well. Capacitor blew, but that should be quite easy to replace. But it's quite nice to just get the needle to move on one of these, when they're like 50 odd years old or whatever. That's great, Submarine Gamer, if it's true. How long did you have it? And were you tested for it? I don't really have, Peter, any like army sort of radio equipment or field phones or anything like that, but I'm not really into them. But sounds interesting if you've got some. Crazy Egg, it depends on your price point and what you want it for. Like I said, my favourite one is the Therapy, although there are still some disadvantages of the Therapy, like how hard it is to clean a tube without damaging it, because when it's under warranty, you can't dismantle it to actually clean the Geiger-Müller tube properly. So it keeps giving me an artificially high reading. It's, if you didn't know, the background in the room at the moment is 0.12, 0.13. So this is like 0.2 microsieverts higher than it should be, just because there's obviously a little bit of like thorium dust or something stuck on the GM tube. What, like the Helly Hansen type one, Sebastian? I didn't know that, but that's sort of interesting. No, what's that then, Clorox? Is that like one to work with different filters on different masks? Take the filter off BAM Parkour and just put it in the sink with soapy water. Simple. If you manage to break an MC1, it's really simple, so you shouldn't be able to break it, basically. Just take the filter off first. I didn't know anybody still made dog gas masks. That's kind of like a World War I, World War II thing. It depends on the quality of the masks, though, in all honesty, Porfy, because I've got some awful full-face masks and some really good half-face masks. Depends totally what you want them for. But in general, I prefer full-face masks. I prefer half-face so you can wear your glasses with, That sounds good, Storgro. I mean, I don't really do anything with airsoft at the moment, but sounds good if it's something that keeps you entertained and it's like a good project to do. AliExpress, if you get